Hello. Trading is closed on the 3rd of August 2022. Let's do our disclaimer, go over yesterday's calls, and then make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, August the 4th. Remember, I can be completely wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. We counted yesterday as a completed fourth wave of some degree. We said we looked for higher prices. Look for the pattern with the early low. Tends to have a high in the final hour. That's what we said. We said if the count was right, we should trade higher, but can't be certain the count's right. So far, it's working. I have no reason to change it. This is a wall. This is a wall with gap patterns. It's an unstable pattern. It doesn't have to fill promptly, but very often it will. If it does fill promptly, we'll undercut this low, usually by tomorrow, sometime if Friday's open. But if it doesn't do it by then, it should do it at some point. But if it doesn't do it by Friday's open, it doesn't have to be anytime soon. Market just doesn't like patterns like that. It likes to fill these gaps. Well, during the day, MEJT said this flip wouldn't stick, it was false. Said this rally wouldn't stick, it was false. That's already played out. This is a weekly chart. 4166.45 is the demarked TDST line. It's support resistance, so we're approaching resistance. Can go one bar past the line, but doesn't have to. Showed this chart yesterday. I'm counting this as a third wave. Yesterday I could only count 4 waves up. Now I can count 5. Doesn't mean the 5th wave needs to stop right here, but if it does stop right here, you've got a complete count. Let's focus in on this wave. We had black 1, black 2. We're in what I'm calling a third wave. The 1 and 2 were pretty clear. Let's switch from 15s to 5s. We had your 1, we had your 2, trying to find gold 3. In gold 3, we had 1, 2, 3. We counted this as magenta 4 yesterday, and now we have to see if we've completed magenta 5. It should be a 5-wave pattern. Well, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Is that 5? We have 5 starting here. We've undercut its origin. So if it is 5, if this is the right count, it's complete, because the origin of wave 5 has to hold. And if that isn't the right count, how should we count it? I mean, you can always count things as 3s, but it sure looks like a 5-wave impulse. I guess you can count this whole thing as a 4, but it sure looks funny to me. Not saying that's the only count, but doesn't break any rules. Doesn't have a good fib relationship with some other stuff, so maybe it's not right. But maybe it is right, and maybe we're going to fill this gut gap. Certainly, I think it's a plausible pathway. Of course, if we gap up, take this high out, the whole thing falls apart. We won't know that till tomorrow. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. We could still gap up. Today's normally bullish pattern closed under midday highs, and that's a no-no. So the afternoon was negative. This bearish pattern, only gapping and promptly overtaking the high day, vitiates it. Remember, it's not today's close that counts, it's tomorrow's open. As of the close, we're negative, and that should lead to lower prices. We gap and take off, we overtake the high, all that negativity goes away, but it hasn't happened yet. The wall with gap pattern doesn't always fill promptly, but more often than not it'll close by Friday's open. It's a pretty steep drop if it happens. If it doesn't do so by then, it doesn't have to do anytime soon. It's possible to count 5 waves up here. I'm not going to claim it's the only count, but it certainly is a clean one. Bulls need to gap and promptly overcome the high of day, or expect to see lower prices, possibly much lower prices, tomorrow. Standard rule, gap up smartly, the calls kill before the open. Tough to pick tops and stuff like this, but I've got a completed 5-wave pattern. I have a wall with gap which usually fills promptly, unless it's invalidated by taking out this high fast. I'm going to go with it and say we trade lower tomorrow with a decent chance we undercut that low by Friday. And the stop is overtaking this high. And that's today's call.